And I talked about the first thing, the first rule of any time you use defensive tactics is de-escalation. And that's what we're talking about last week. If I can de-escalate it and get my way out of the situation, I'm going to do everything I can to use that verbal judo to get out of dodge. You know what I mean? Hey, it works out. I don't have to use force. I don't have to write reports. This guy gets what he wants. We work it out, and that's it. Is every situation like that? No. Like Lieutenant was saying earlier, there's situations in the jail where the guys are just so cranked up that we have to use OC, a little bit of, pain compliance or defensive tactics to get the guy under control, maybe restrain him, calm him down, and do whatever we got to do. But, one of the best DT instructors, he's a master instructor, dude's absolutely a beast. He retired out of Hamden County, but he says, I always took this piece of advice. Every fight you don't get in is a win. Every time you do not get into a fight, if you can avoid that fight, that's a win all day. Avoid it. De-escalate. That's most important, especially now with everything going on. You guys are how old are you? What are you guys? Seniors, juniors? Juniors. You know what's going on. You guys watch the news. You guys know all about. Everybody knows about the George Floyd case. Everybody knows about all these, all these different cases where law enforcement's looked at as the enemy now, and different things like that. Not to bring any of that up, but for every bad apple out there, there's thousands and thousands of great officers. Like I trust my life with any one of these guys. You know what I mean? And I love what I do, and I don't want shitbag officers getting all the attention because there's only a handful of bad incidents that make the media, and those get portrayed massively over the nobody's gonna know that this guy just found a 69-year-old missing male in the woods last night who wandered off and didn't even know barely even knew his own name. You know what I mean? So we do a lot of good and a lot of great in the community. So just don't forget that, especially if you really want a career in law enforcement and stuff like that.
Yeah, there are at least 4 good officers here.
Yeah, definitely not me. I told the last group I only did this so I can cover myself in tattoos and drive a cruiser. But
I do want to just touch a little bit more on that. So the use of the dog can be used without actually having the felony, but to engage the dog to make the apprehension, it needs to be a felony. So like he just said yesterday, he found that 69-year-old guy. It wasn't a felony. It wasn't anything. But we still use the dog to get there. Like, I don't want you to think because it needs to be a felony, like, oh, we can't call the dog. Like, the dog will still track. It doesn't need to be a felony, but we just cannot apprehend the suspect once the felony.
Right.
Or if there's a crime of violence. So not every crime of violence is a felony. And not to, most of our bike, if we make an apprehension, it's going to be for a felony. But if I walked up to Dillingham right now as a regular person and I punched Dillingham as hard as I could in the face, and he released Sharpie on me, that's a misdemeanor. Assault battery on a police officer is a misdemeanor in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I would still be able to be bitten because I'm at the assault and bodily harm level. So you guys have gone over the use of force continuum and everything else in the levels. So now I'm assault and bodily harm. I can be apprehended for the canine apprehension. If I was just physically resisting, I'm not at that threshold where I can be bitten by a canine. I can be pepper sprayed, but I can't be bitten if I'm not actively assaulting Sergeant. So it's a lot, and there's a lot to consider. When you cut your dog off the leash, the second you cut that dog off, you're like, oh boy, this is it. Like, I need to make sure my dog's going to do everything he's been trained to. I've had to cut Will off leash once, and I'll tell you what, the second I did it, it was one of the scariest moments of my career. Because I'm like, oh man, this is it. Like, this is what we trained for. Let's hope he does what he needs to do. And he did. He almost, one of the warrant guys jumped on top of the guy, and thank God I was able to save his life because Will was this close from getting his. He's got himself a big old butt. Will almost had a nice big chunk out of it, but pulled him off, and then Will engaged the guy. I think bit him right over here, and we were fortunate that only the suspect of it, like he was an active felon. So it was at that point that I knew I had the threshold for the canine application. So there's a lot to it, but. Like I said to the last group, and I'll say it to you guys are a little over. This is a rewarding career. Right now, we're under attack. It's tough. I have my 6-year-old son asking me about the protests and why don't people like police officers anymore? Why don't people like that? That's a tough conversation to have with a 6-year-old. And I just tell them that we go to work and we do our job every day to try to be the people we can be. If you think there's something wrong right now with law enforcement, if you think that there's this underlying issue, then by all means, get on the job. Take the test, come to the department, get on the job, and be the change you want to see. That's what it needs to be. If people think that there is so much wrong in the world, be the change you want to see. Go to the police academy, get on the department, go be a correctional officer, and be the change you want to see so that you can help change the outcome. And I said it before, and I'll say it again about Massachusetts. We're very fortunate. We have some of the highest training standards in the country for corrections and for policing. Every single man here has been to a corrections academy and a police attack. We're held to higher standards on both sides. We have to go to correctional in-service every year, and then we have to go to police in-service every year. And all we preach in Massachusetts is de-escalation. I'm a firearms instructor, and I'm a less lethal instructor. And all we teach in our firearms program, on top of being proficient with utilizing a weapon, we teach de-escalation the entire time. Officer Ishwood's a DT instructor. We preach de-escalation all the time. For us to use force is a last resort. And that's why you don't hear about these incidents in Massachusetts. Because we have some of the best training, we have some of the best police officers in the country, we have some of the best deputies and best corrections officers because of the standard of training that we have. So be fortunate. If you want to get into criminal justice in Massachusetts, we have some of the highest training standards in the nation. We also have some of the most educated police officers in the nation. Most police officers in Massachusetts have an associate's degree up to a master's degree. Some even have a law degree. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to better yourself. If you want to be part of the change, then by all means do it. But you're coming into a career field in Massachusetts that has some of the best training in the country. So I stand tall in that, even instructor, that it's be the change you want to see, but you're coming into a job that if this is what you decide, there's some excellent training and a lot of opportunity.
I know you guys actually want to get into this for law enforcement.
Two, three. 3 out of 5. That's 60%.
You guys want to be canine?
Come on.
You guys want to work with a dog all day?
Oh, lots of.
You guys want to, like, we bring the dog home and everything?
Well, I mean, if you can train a pug to be
Honestly, I mean, yeah. It's actually anything.
a goat. Yeah. A 12-year-old almost dead pug.
All right, what do you guys know about canine? You guys know anything? You guys get taught anything? You guys all came out here. What did you see last year?
Like when you release the dog, is the only thing it's trained to do when it's off the leash is attack.
When it's off the leash?
Yeah.
No. So we actually do like off lead detection stuff. Like they'll come off and so actually Lieutenant Mayor just put out, I think was that C4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put out some
Oh yeah, it was
C4.
ample and then
You just put
cocaine.
well, no, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we actually just put out C4.
There's literally C4
Right
though.
Oh yeah, okay.
Maggie.
That's it. I'm breaking up with you.
That's not the only thing that.
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't call, you don't write.
yeah, that's not the only thing. I mean, we play ball with them. We cut them off the. I mean, they're not just specifically like, hey, there's somebody over there. I'm gonna get. What else you guys like know about them? Anything? What do they do?
Sniff stuff.
We don't attack. We don't attack. Apprehension. Apprehension. Anything else? So they sniff stuff, or they sniff up. Okay. Cadaver, yeah, she's not right. Cell phones,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, cell phones.
Cadaver dogs, yep.
Yeah.
They're actually, we don't do it. The state police has to have it because they're almighty, powerful state police. And they actually have an arson dog. Sniff out like
What's going on?
arson.
How's everything? Good.
You can have the dog sniff out that dogs. I mean, guys get off the job. They'll make a contract with like 5-star
Yeah, good
hotels.
for you. UConn, right?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
So, quick question about the sniffing. Plain sight. What counts as plain view for dogs? Like if I'm walking down the street and I have cocaine in my pocket, you can't see my cocaine. You don't know I have drugs, so you can't arrest me for it because it's not in plain sight. Dog walks by me, indicates. Can you use that as plain sight to search me?
It's tough.
I was just gonna say.
Dog pretty much has to be. I know of one dog that is legally allowed.
Really? So your dog's trained in drugs, though, right? Your dog's trained. What? So your dog's trained in cocaine?
Right. Yes.
So if I had cocaine on me, would he indicate?
I'm not.
I don't.
We actually don't even really train on like people searches.
Okay. Okay.
So it's that's a real gray line.
All right.
I'll spin it. This parking lot right here
Yes.
has the right to public access, right? It's public school.
It is a public school. Yep.
So if he's in this parking lot and he has his dog, because I have the right to search him.
Correct.
But if you're walking through there and he indicates on a vehicle, now we're developing the probable cause to get it. Other than that, as far as like on your person, you still have, you have your right.
You know.
So
But on the explosive side, now let's flip the switch on my dog. If you're walking with a backpack and all of a sudden Will's trailing, it's called vapor trailing. If Will's trailing and starts nosing your backpack, then I see a marked change of behavior because he's not going to give me a full indication. I see a marked change of behavior. I have enough to stop and contain and ascertain this. It's tough
because it's a
You're
weapon.
bouncing on the legal.
I know that's what I'm after.
It realigns with like.
Very, very gray and there's no real like that. So it's
So you can develop probable cause by a dog hitting on a car.
yes. Yep. I've done it for shootings where a vehicle was suspected to be involved in a shooting. Will indicated on a bullet hole that we didn't see. Indicated on the bullet hole. Hey, vehicle seized. Search warrant on the car. Gun inside.
K9 Bulldog actually, with his last dog, Axel. I mean, we do the school searches sometimes. He actually would pull on a bong and like crap load of weed. Yeah. Just by him indicating on the outside of the car.
Wait till you got to the student parking lot. You guys were you guys were just in the faculty parking lot. No. So that's like because dogs have the enhanced sense, you can take advantage of that, but only in certain circumstances.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we don't really like. I don't just train because my dog's a jerk, but like we really don't train so much on people searches. Like, it's more of like he's my baby, but he's a jerk to everybody else. He's my baby, but he's a jerk to everybody else.
I made this joke last period, so he's already heard it. But you know how they say that dogs take after their owners.
All right, you guys got anything else? So we got sniff. We got what else? The bodies. Yep. We apprehend. Don't attack. We apprehend. We sniff out stuff. What else? Tracking. That's very important. That's a very important part. Just track the. With dementia. You got anything back? Alright, so what did you guys see? What did you guys see last year? The obedience side of it?
They did the agility thing too, right?
You beat it. Yep. You guys saw the jumps with Cap's dog.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm sorry to keep cutting everybody off. I'll shut my mouth in a second. We actually just retired Ronnie. So Captain's dog Ronnie that came here and did the jumps and stuff last year. He just retired. So it was like I was saying before. I'll admit it. I even tear up a little bit. You know what I mean? But it's very rewarding and very humbling. But yeah, he did retire. So he's a couch potato camping buddy now, and he's doing his thing. So Cap will probably get a new dog soon, and the whole thing starts over again. Dillingham will be training it, and that's it. But,
and then these guys came last year to graduation. Was that your dog's graduation?
that was mine.
Yep.
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 Yes.
Yep.
With Zero. Yep. Zero turned into. He was really good.
We'll go more into the legal side of this. When can I use the dog to track anymore? We won't bother you. I promise. When can I use the dog to track somebody?
He's so good too.
It doesn't have to be a felony. Nothing. As long as somebody's gone, right? We do make friendly fine dogs. Yeah, most of them fail times. That's when they go in with a fine dog. Really know the nurse stand around like, hey, all right. So while he's got his dog out, it's getting hot. So the detection side of the fence over here, he's going to run him real quick. So there are 2 alerts when the dogs are actually going to indicate that they found the odor. And what do you have out? C4, right? C4. So he actually just put a brick C4 out. Don't touch it. It's going to be over there somewhere. So he's actually going to, when he indicates on the odor, and when he might indicate, he's going to sit and find that odor. And that's going to be his way of knowing that everybody's going to get the hell out of there.
You see me and Will running?
You probably should run too.
Yeah.
The same direction there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
All right, so he's gonna work them. Actually, you know what? You can do it off lead. She asked if they just do it.
Oh yeah. So
Just because she thinks every time the dog gets cut off lead, he's gonna go attack somebody.
let me see you. Come here.
All right, so this is our EOD dog. How many odors do you think he smells out?
Yeah.
They're all jealous.
Let's get it out. Let's get it out, girls. Everybody.
Everybody rush him.
Rush him. I don't know. Rushing him is the right answer.
Is he afraid of it?
You definitely can't do that with his dog. No, that's a big no.
All right. We all odd out. You want to go pet him? Got one more, guys.
Yes. You see on the left.
Oh, B-Period's gonna be pissed. They did not get
We need to wear that. We did just put him last year. So.
Yeah, hell yeah. You guys talking to me about dogs? No. All right. So we got that out. We're all odd out now. We're all happy. EOD dog. How many odors do you think he smells of? Wait. Keep Jack.
77.
Way down. 26. Good job. 26 different odors he actually smells of.
Oh.
Maggie's texting her over here.
I think Dr. Pepper has 26 flavors.
Yeah, there you go.
So, there you go. See, it's off leash. You search.
I say he attacks Chelsea first.
You're gonna see by the end of this hour that we have you guys the change of behavior that these dogs are gonna have from when they're in detection mode to when they're actually in patrol mode. You're gonna see a big difference. Like he's just wandering around and anybody can pet him. All these guys might go sniff him. But there's no issue there.
And what he's looking for is, does anyone know what C4 is?
Can you
Is it explosive? It's like almost like a, not like a putty, but like clayish.
Oh yeah,
Yep. Yeah, we can show you the kits.
Yeah.
You have a blast setting him up for training.
We gotta do the pulse blast.
Oh, look, he's marking.
If you attach tactical training to anything, we can get away with it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
My uncle was a deputy chief fire.
So you see
He used
how
to
he's
collect all the
sitting on that,
fireworks.
guys?
On my birthday, he
That's
would
gonna be his
dispose of
indication
them.
that there's something there, and then we
Perfect.
probably need to call EOD guys to come sweep that area. So that's how we're gonna know.
He did pee on it first.
It's actually pretty funny. Some of the dogs will actually like pee on that. Flip over here somewhere. Yeah. All right. Now that you guys saw how that actually works, let's go over to the cruisers and I can actually show you some of the drug kit info that we had.
He's just a boy, Willie.
Is that a dog over there? Wait, they got a dog? Yeah.
Don't be the guy jogging. See the
All right,
jogger over
everybody
there?
do it in unison.
We all get that out of the way.
Did you get 2 emails or just
Don't
one?
worry, I still do
Did
it
you
all the
get 2
time during
emails or
training,
one?
guys.
What do you mean?
I just sent you an email.
Yeah.
Telling you, did I send you 2 or 1?
I think just one.
Okay, because I tried to send one and I couldn't tell if it sent. So I sent another one and I was like, I don't want to be weird.
She's agreed to be tased next to use of force training.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm the one who
Her dad will sign off on that. I know.
my dad will come film me.
And they're actually, when I do Brennan's drug academy, there's actually gonna be 9, so you're not completely right. So, and he's gonna do weed. Why do I only have 1 dog that's gonna do weed? You guys are supposed to be noticed.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Because it's illegal?
It's legal, yeah, pretty much.
No.
So,
All right. So if it's legal, why can't my dog search for it?
Because it's only legal in certain amounts.
Okay. So pretty much, I'll put it to you this way. So if you're driving a car
Yeah.
and you have hold on a second. So you got an open case for having cocaine or something. You get pulled over. You're shaking your head. What am I gonna say?
Because you can't have drugs on you.
All right, so you got an open case for having Class A, whatever. Okay, you get pulled over, you're acting, you're swerving all over the place. Not the police you over, thinks you're probably intoxicated on something. Okay, but you have weed in there because it's legal. Now I get called in there. Well, he gets called in there. His dog's a weed dog. You have a little bit of weed in there, but you also have coke in there. Now, what's the problem with that? What's the problem?
They find the drugs.
So because weed's legal, he has a legal amount and he has his card. That case is not going to get thrown out because he's going to say, "How do you know that your dog's not hitting on the weed?" He's not hitting. He's not hitting. He's hitting on the weed, not. So your coke's now going to get thrown out of your case because of the weed.
That's a real case. Guy had cocaine in his side compartment. Dog hit on it. Dog was trained on weed and coke. The argument